In a quiet Igbo village called Umuk, there lived a kind woman named Amoka, a 28-year-old slim and beautiful woman with bright eyes and a warm smile. She worked hard every day, selling roasted yam at the village square. Though Amoka was poor, she was always happy and grateful for life. She had a humble husband named Emeka, a 30-year-old tall, strong man who worked on people's farms to earn money. Amoka and Emeka had little money, but they loved each other deeply. They shared everything they had, even when food was small. Every morning, Amoka prayed that one day, their suffering would end. She believed that good things came slowly but surely. One sunny afternoon, Emeka heard that a rich businessman in a nearby town was looking for workers to help build a large warehouse. The pay was good, better than anything he had ever earned. Emeka told Amoka, and she encouraged him to go. "My husband, go and try. God will bless your hands," she said. The next morning, Emeka packed his small bag. Amoka tied a small piece of roasted yam for him to eat on the way. Before he left, she hugged him tightly, wishing him success. Emeka promised, "I will return soon, Amoka. I will make you proud." Emeka traveled for 2 long days. He slept at roadside sheds and walked through dusty roads. When he finally reached the town, he saw big buildings, busy people, and many cars, things he had never seen before. The city was loud and full of life. Emeka found the businessman's warehouse, and luckily, he was hired. The work was hard, but the money was very good. Every evening, he sat outside thinking of Amoka and how happy she would be when he brought money home. As months passed, Emeka earned more money than he had ever seen. He started dressing in fine clothes and living in a better house. The boss liked him so much that he made Emeka a supervisor. Emeka began to feel important, too important. Slowly, he started forgetting where he came from. He stopped sending money to Amoka. He stopped visiting. When she tried to call him with a borrowed phone from a neighbor, he ignored her. Rumors spread that Emeka was now living with city women and pretending he had no wife. Amoka cried many nights, but she refused to hate her husband. She believed he was only confused and that one day he would remember her. She continued selling roasted yam even though business was slow. People pitied her, but she stayed strong. One evening, after another long day at work, Emeka met a group of rich young men who invited him to a party. There, he drank, danced, and wasted money. They told him, "Forget that village life. You are a big man now." Emeka listened and believed them. Back in Umuk village, Amoka became weaker. She was working too hard and eating too little. Sometimes, she sat under the old Udola tree, staring at the road, hoping Emeka would return. But he never came. One rainy evening, Amoka fainted while roasting yam. Villagers rushed to help her, lifting her into her small hut. Mama Ogbu, the village nurse, said she needed rest, food, and peace of mind. But Amoka whispered, "I am fine. Emeka will come back." Meanwhile, in the city, Emeka became even richer. His boss promoted him again, and he now handled big contracts. He forgot the days when he prayed for food, and he forgot Amoka completely. He now moved with rich men and sat in expensive places. One afternoon, while Emeka was in a restaurant eating pepper soup, a young woman approached him. Her name was Chika, a tall, light-skinned 25-year-old woman with long braids. She smiled sweetly. Emeka liked the attention. Soon, they became close. Chika enjoyed Emeka's money, and Emeka enjoyed her beauty. She asked no questions about his life or his past. She only cared about the gifts he brought her. Emeka bought new clothes, shoes, and phones for her. He felt powerful. Back in the village, Amoka's mother came to visit. She looked around and saw how thin Amoka had become. "My daughter, this is too much," she said softly. But Amoka simply smiled in sadness. "Mama, Emeka will return. He is just lost." The next market day, Amoka forced herself to work again. She roasted yam even though her hands were shaking. A little girl came to buy food and asked, "Auntie, why are you crying?" Amoka didn't even know tears had fallen from her eyes. Meanwhile, Emeka and his new friends traveled from city to city, enjoying life. They spent money on parties, drinks, and flashy things. Emeka believed nothing could ever go wrong. He felt untouchable and unstoppable. But soon, trouble came. During a big construction job, Emeka made a mistake that cost the company a lot of money. His boss, angry and disappointed, removed him from his position. Just like that, Emeka fell from glory. Things became worse. His rich friends disappeared. Chika stopped answering his calls. His money finished quickly because he had no savings. Within 3 months, Emeka lost his job, his house, his friends, and his pride. All he had left was shame. One cold morning, Emeka packed the little clothes he had left and walked out of the city. He had no money for transport. He walked for hours, thinking about what he had become. For the first time in years, he remembered Amoka's face and her gentle smile. As he walked, he remembered how she used to pack food for him, how she prayed for him, and how she hugged him before he left the village. His heart felt heavy. "Amoka, what have I done?" he whispered. He slept under trees, begged strangers for water, and walked barefoot when his slippers tore. The journey was long and painful, but he did not stop. He knew he had to face his past. After 4 days of walking, Emeka reached the outskirts of Umuk village. His heart beat fast. He feared what the villagers would say. He feared seeing Amoka. He feared the truth of what he had caused. As he entered the village, the children who once ran to greet him now stared silently. Some whispered, "Is that Emeka? He looks like a shadow." Emeka felt shame burning inside him. Emeka walked straight to the spot where Amoka used to roast yam. When he reached it, he saw an empty space. The stand was broken, and ashes were scattered on the ground. Fear gripped his chest. He asked a young boy, "Where is the woman who sells yam here?" The boy replied, "Auntie Amoka. She is very sick. She stays inside her hut now." Emeka's heart almost stopped beating. He ran toward their old house. When he reached the door, his hands shook. He pushed it open slowly. Inside, he saw Amoka lying weakly on a mat. She looked thinner, smaller, and pale. But her eyes were still gentle. Amoka looked at him for a long moment. Then tears rolled down her cheeks. "Emeka, you came back," she whispered. Her voice was weak, but her heart was full of love. Emeka fell on his knees and cried like a child. He held her hands gently. "Amoka, I am sorry. I forgot you. I forgot myself. I lost everything." Amoka touched his cheek softly and said, "You only lost your way. But you have found your home again." For days, Emeka stayed by Amoka's side. He cooked for her, swept the compound, fetched water, and cleaned the hut. The villagers watched in surprise. The man who once walked like a king in the city now walked like a humble servant, but he did it with joy. Mama Ogbu visited often. She gave Amoka herbs and taught Emeka how to boil them correctly. Emeka listened carefully, determined to make his wife strong again. Each time Amoka sipped the herbal tea, she felt a little better. One evening, Amoka managed to stand outside. The sky was orange and calm. She held Emeka's hand for support. "You are getting stronger," he said softly. Amoka nodded. "Because you came back." News spread around the village that Emeka had returned and changed. Some villagers forgave him quickly. Others shook their heads and said, "Let us see if he will truly stay." Emeka ignored them. His only focus was Amoka. Weeks passed, and Amoka grew stronger. Her cheeks became fuller, her smile brighter, and her step steadier. One morning, she surprised Emeka by roasting yam again. "I miss my work," she said proudly. Emeka laughed in relief. Emeka decided to start farming again. He borrowed tools and cleared a piece of land near the stream. Every morning, he went to the farm with new strength. Villagers saw him sweating under the sun and knew he was serious about rebuilding his life. Sometimes, Amoka joined him at the farm. She weeded slowly while Emeka worked beside her. They talked, laughed, and remembered old times. For the first time in many years, they felt peace. One afternoon, the village elders visited Emeka's home. They said, "We have watched you. You have changed truly. You have become a real man again." They blessed him and encouraged him never to forget his family again. Emeka bowed his head and said, "I will never leave my wife again. I learned my lesson the hardest way." Amoka smiled proudly, knowing that his words came from a changed heart. As seasons passed, their life became better. The farm grew well, and they soon had more yam than they needed. Amoka reopened her roasting business, and people came from far to buy her food. Together, they rebuilt their home with love and patience. One evening, Emeka and Amoka sat outside their rebuilt house. The moon was bright, and the air was cool. Emeka held Amoka's hand and said, "Thank you for not giving up on me." Amoka rested her head on his shoulder and smiled. The villagers soon noticed how united the couple had become. Children played around their compound, and neighbors often stopped by to greet them. The home that once felt empty was now full of laughter and warmth. One market day, Emeka helped Amoka carry her yam stand to the square. People were surprised to see a man helping his wife so humbly. But Emeka didn't care. All that mattered was that they were together again. Amoka's yam became very popular. People said, "It tastes sweet because her heart is sweet." She laughed whenever she heard it. Emeka stood beside her proudly, slicing yam and serving customers with a happy smile. Months later, Emeka expanded their farm. He planted more crops, cassava, maize, vegetables. He woke early and worked hard every day. For the first time in many years, he felt proud of himself again. Amoka also grew stronger and healthier. Her cheeks became rounder, her eyes brighter, and her laughter louder. She often sang while cooking, filling the air with joy. Emeka always stopped to listen. One morning, the village elders came again. They sat in front of Emeka's house and said, "You have rebuilt your life. You have become an example to young men." Emeka bowed deeply, and Amoka knelt beside him with a shy smile. As the elders left, Emeka held Amoka close and whispered, "I will never forget where I came from again." Amoka touched his chest gently and replied, "And I will always stand by your side." In time, the couple became known as the most peaceful and hardworking pair in Yumuk village. Their story spread far and wide, how a man lost everything because he forgot his wife, and how he found everything again when he returned to her. And so, Emeka and Amoka lived a long and happy life. They worked together, laughed together, and supported each other. Emeka never forgot the lesson life taught him: a man who forgets his wife forgets his own destiny. But he never forgot again.